Alright, so I just saw the brand new Wonka movie starring Timothy Chalamet, and I gotta say, I had a pretty good time with this. It's all about Wonka coming to a new city and trying to have his dream come true of having a chocolate factory and have it be a thriving business. But he has some obstacles that come in his way, including a chocolate cartel, which I thought was a pretty interesting villain to have in this movie. Let's go into pros and then cons for this movie. So for pros, I gotta say Timothy Chalamet did a really good job as Willy Wonka. I really liked his performance. The next positive I have is probably the music. I would say most of it worked, maybe like 75-80% of it. There was a couple of songs I was kind of not feeling it that much, but there was a few really good ones. There's one that I believe is called Scrub Scrub. It is super catchy, and I guarantee you will be singing that for the rest of the day after you see this movie. Then I gotta say the characters overall were really likable and actually had a bit of personality. There was a couple of the main characters that hang around Willy Wonka that I just don't think were fleshed out that well. They were kind of just there just to be there. But for the most part, a lot of the characters were really likable. The best side character out of them all, of course, is Noodle. Now, before we move into the negatives, I want to say that if you're seeing this movie, you need to get chocolate. Just sit down and just munch on chocolate throughout the movie, and it just makes it a lot better. This is one of the only times in my entire life that I have not went to the theaters and got delicious buttery popcorn to sit down and watch a movie. I got chocolate for this one, and it was a great time. Just eating the chocolate, smelling the chocolate, and then watching a chocolate movie. Nice. Alright, now on to the negatives. It's obviously not a perfect movie, but let's talk about it, you know? So a few of the songs, like I said, weren't that great. Some of the main characters weren't that great either. I thought the villains were kind of weak because they were very one-dimensional. They were just kind of pissed off that Wonka was there and was going to cut into their profits, and then they try to shut him down, and that's pretty much it. I would have also liked them to dive into Wonka's past a little bit more. They did do it, like there was a really touching moment regarding Wonka's mother, but I just wish we got more. Especially because this movie is being marketed as like the Wonka origin story. I also would have liked to see a lot more of Hugh Grant's Oompa Loompa, and I'm sure if they end up making a sequel, he's gonna be like the main co-star of that movie, and I'm sure he's gonna be in it right from the beginning all the way until the end. But I thought he was really, really great in this movie, and I would have liked to see him a little bit more. My third negative, I would say, is probably the third act. It gets a little bit messy. Like, that Act 1 and 2 is all about Wonka wanting to make his chocolate and, have a successful business and all that. But then the third act just turns into a heist movie, and it was kind of jarring, to be honest. And my third negative is really just the story overall. It wasn't bad, like it wasn't really bad or anything. I think it was just a little too simple. Like I wish it was a little more intricate. Maybe there's like a chocolate competition in the third act instead of a heist or something, and then he ends up winning versus the chocolate cartel. Something like that I think would have just made the movie a little bit more interesting. And then my last negative actually has nothing to do with the movie, but I just, once again, I want to complain about the audience because I swear every other movie I see, the audience is just, they just suck. I don't know. There was like this little kid just making sounds during the whole movie. The mom's not doing anything at all. I'm trying to enjoy my chocolate movie with my chocolate in hand, and I don't know, just the kid's like, I don't know what was happening. If your kid can't be quiet during a movie, let them go out, bring them to the bathroom or something, try to calm them down. If they don't, then go home and watch Disney Plus or Netflix because you can pause it, you can be loud, you can do whatever you want and not annoy people that paid good money and to go see a movie, It's a fun experience until there's a kid going, chocolate! Okay, enough with that rant there. Let's go ahead and rate this movie out of 10. Like I said, I did have a good time with it. It obviously isn't amazing. It isn't bad. I would say it's a 6.5 out of 10 movie. I think there's a lot to enjoy in it, but it's obviously got a lot of things that they could work on, especially if they're planning on making a sequel. I think if they do make a Wonka 2, I think they should maybe do like a chocolate competition, like a worldwide one, and have Wonka obviously representing his factory. They get a bunch of Oompa Loompas, everything, business is booming, and then he's got to go and face off against other chocolate factories around the world, and maybe they get some really big name actors for it. Imagine like Timothy Chalamet versus Tom Holland's Chocolate Factory from England or something, and then maybe Ryan Reynolds, maybe someone else, big name actor. I think that would be really, really interesting, and it would be unique for a Wonka movie. But anyways, let me know what you guys thought about Wonka.